Our supreme champion female is our national champion, Charlotte. I feel the power of Kim Bullock.
She's not just a lady for a day, she's lady for life. Weekland Lady, 2 to the pinks, and Weekland Bull, 1 to 6.
They've done it again! Our grand champion, supreme champion, Weekland Cattle Company. Did you feel the tremor? KR Tremor 70.
Welcome to the Next Gen Cattle Podcast.
If you're a cattle producer who understands that stress, environment, and transition directly impact performance, this will resonate. We're Kim and Jackie from Grow Your Life, where we support producers behind the scenes because regulated humans make clear decisions that protect the bottom line. We also teach AIM, the Animal Intuitive Method, a practical body-based system used with cattle herds to help animals settle, realign, and return to function during calving, weaning, hauling, breeding, and change. When people and animals are regulated, losses go down and outcomes improve. Find us at Grow Your Life with Kim and Jackie on Apple and Spotify and at aimhealing.ca.
Well, welcome everybody to a special edition of the Next Gen Cattle Podcast with our host, Ty Wilson.
Ty Wilson. Welcome to Alberta. One time only, I'm going to host Next Gen Cattle Podcast with our guest, Mitch McCrady. Because Mitch has got a really neat story, and you wouldn't have heard it, not really, throughout the podcast. And I was thinking as I was listening to the last 16 episodes, I'm like, okay, I know there's some really cool stuff in here, but the people don't. So we're going to get to the bottom of it today.
Can't wait.
Let me paint you a picture. Two people in love, beautiful people. And after a night of passionate, filthy lovemaking, a beautiful baby boy brought into the world named Mitch McCrady. What happened next?
I was born in Kingston, Ontario, which would be smack dab in between Toronto and Ottawa, right on the end of Lake Ontario.
Interesting. Born to parents who did what?
My dad was a teacher, and my mom started out as a pharmaceutical rep, both involved in agriculture growing up, but never really pursued it, I guess, as a job. And then they met, and then we moved to a small acreage when I was just a little baby with 20 acres. Nothing. My mom had a couple horses, I guess, when I was growing up, but nothing crazy in terms of cows or anything.
So you started with horses?
Well, I wasn't really into horses, but
they were around.
They were around, yeah.
Because you mentioned when I got here, well, when we first came here, we got a rope for free. I'm like, what are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we had 20 acres there. And my parents really wanted to get involved in agriculture more and, cattle in general. And my grandparents had cattle, and both my uncles have cattle. So they got into Dexters.
Okay, that's
because yeah. So the reason why originally was because we only had the 20 acres, so small footprint.
Could get 40 of them on there.
Yeah, so we had we started off with 3, and we had enough. We had 10 acres hay, 10 acres pasture, and that pretty well fed the 3 Dexter cows for the year.
As a quick aside, of all the places in the world to raise Dexters, that probably is the place.
100%,
right?
for sure.
There'd be a niche in the city.
Yeah,
you could
for
sell
sure.
the shit out of them.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I guess the next part of that would have been, so we kind of got to the point, or I guess mom and dad got to the point where we were kind of outgrowing our current setup at just north of town in Kingston there. So mom actually had gone to look at a new horse at this person's house. His name was Bob Howes. He used to play in the CFL. Really cool guy. And
I've heard that name.
Mom had went and had said what's happening? Why are you selling the horse? And he's like, well, I'm going to sell the whole place. It's going on the market within a week. So within 48 hours, and beautiful limestone house, typical old Ontario, that kind of
The history.
Yeah, for sure. So
What year is this, if you don't mind me asking?
This would have been I would have been in grade 6.
So from a baby, basically, you're at
Yeah.
the acreage, to grade 6, you're
I would have been
11,
like 12, yeah.
So 12 years. So
12
then
years
that puts
old.
us at 2011,
2011, 2012, yeah,
okay.
somewhere in there.
2000, maybe.
Yeah. So
Right.
then, so within 48 hours of mom looking at this horse, we were putting an offer in. Mom and dad were
On
putting
the
an
house.
offer in on the house. And the horse was actually like, I remember it clear as day. The horse was actually the thing in the end that was like like within the offers, they were building the horse into the deal. And that was one of the things that
Rich
was
paid
like,
for the
yeah, it
horse.
was like one of the kind of, interesting topics in terms of the offer and everything was, oh, how much is the horse worth? Blah, 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 blah. So we moved there. And in terms of,
And how many acres is the new place?
that's 100.
Okay.
Well,
Now
90.
we're in business.
Yeah.
Yep.
So at that point, my mom was still working in pharmaceuticals. Dad was still teaching. I would have been 12. My brother would have been 9, I guess.
I don't know your brother. How many siblings do you have?
Just one. Just
Okay,
my brother,
just the
Ben.
boys.
Yeah. Yeah. So we would have been we went into that. We knew what we were getting into. Like, it was very abrupt kind of when he left. His wife had passed away, and he left everything. There was peanut butter in the cupboard. There was jam in the cupboard, bread. He left his dog for us.
Oh.
So we had his dog, clear as day, Archie was his name, and he petrified of thunderstorms. Petrified. So he would, when there was ever a thunderstorm, he would like lose his mind. Why that? I don't know why that sticks out, but so, and then one day Bob shows back up and was like, I'm here to pick up my dog. We're like,
Our dog now, Bob.
okay, like whatever, I guess, right? So kind of, I guess that was my first big kind of jump, I guess, into agriculture would have been like moving to that place.
So you have the Dexters. Now
Yeah.
you're at the big place.
Yeah.
You stick with the Dexters?
Yeah. Yeah. Mom and dad, kind of, I guess, rapidly expanded that. I guess I would have been in grade 9. My grandfather passed away, and my mom said, like, no more corporate bullshit. I'm just gonna farm.
Do
like,
what I
that's what
want.
I want to do. So they jumped like full steam into that. And the area that we're in, like what you said before, is very, very niche. Like, niche markets do very, very well.
Mhm.
So they were finishing like 50 pigs a year, 20 steers a year, and mom was selling it all out of the freezer.
Jeepers.
Yeah, so they went from 0 to 100 very quickly, and like, you're selling eggs for like $20 a dozen to people in the city.
Wow.
And it's the story behind it that kind of sells the
And
product,
so
I guess.
at that time and with where you were, did that pretty much replace or even surpass the corporate income?
Yeah, I would think so. I didn't really know exactly what it was, but for sure it was definitely within that range of, kind of what that would have been. Like, as a lifestyle, I guess nothing ever really
Never wanted.
changed. Yeah.
Okay, so then you're at the big place. You're in grade 9. Grandpa passed away. Big life change.
Yeah.
Full steam ahead.
Yeah.
How do you end up in Alberta?
Well, so I got into showing cattle once we moved to the new house, to the 100-acre place.
Mhm.
I started kind of, I used to show dairy cows before that.
What? Okay,
Yeah,
hold on. Back
so
up.
Ontario, the beef cattle thing isn't as prominent as here. It's all dairy cows. So if you're in, we call it public school, so grade 1 to 8.
Yeah.
It's like, you want to show cows, perfect. There's always a local dairy farmer that will give you a calf to show.
That's interesting. So
Yeah.
you got into showing independently of being on the farm and what you're producing.
Yeah.
That's
So
really-
I showed dairy cows for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. And then
You got to, this is fascinating. I don't know a goddamn thing about showing dairy cows.
there's nothing similar.
No, it doesn't seem like
Nothing. It is completely opposite.
Obviously the hair, they don't care about the
And the person I showed for was very like, a little ranchier, like we would call it, like very like, as long as the calf's broke, it doesn't really matter what it looks like. It's about like the experience of you getting to the show and showing and whatnot.
So this is like a stupid question, I'm sure. But like, how do you judge showmanship for a dairy cow? Because as far as I was aware, it's just all structure, utter structure.
Yeah.
Like,
I was never
showcase
really
one better than the next one?
I was never really a master at showmanship by any means.
So I got into beef cows.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So then I was actually in Frontenac County 4-H. I was the first person to ever show a dairy calf, a pig, and a beef animal on the same achievement day, all in one day.
Wow.
Yeah. When I was, I don't know, I was 12 maybe.
That's impressive.
So, yeah, so I got into, like, I was showing pigs. Mom and dad had a lot of pigs around, so I was kind of, just like that typical 4-H, like, do as
That
much
makes
as
sense because you guys were raising them. So
do as much. We were doing as much as we could, or I was doing as much as I could in terms of 4-H, and then I kind of gravitated a little bit towards the beef cattle, I guess. I guess just with like my family all having beef cows, I got into it, and I was like as green as they come. There was no blower, there was nothing, like it was like you feed them every other day, you feed them when they're good, like very. I was talking to Cam on the podcast about the first animal I had. I was so proud because I could walk around the yard and she would follow me, and that was the big thing for me. I was like, I'm gonna win, right?
That rocks. Yeah.
Well, dead last.
It turns out it has almost no bearing on that.
Exactly. So I think after that, I took a little bit, more liking to it, and I took it a little more seriously. And then I started, buying a few cows, and I got into clubbies. I think right off the bat, I wanted to be this big steer jock.
Everybody goes to the steer jock.
Yeah. So I saved up a bunch of money, bought a clubby heifer, played with all of her hair. It was great.
By now you are...
I would have been like 15, 16.
Okay.
Somewhere in there. And in between, like, just, very average, like 4-H projects, like just kind of run of the mill,
Yep.
And then I got the clubby heifer, and, then I got to play with some hair and like kind of gouge and learn kind of how everything works. And then like going to these shows and like being a young, keen kid, I kind of like made some connections and started helping some people and learning from, some bigger names and like kind of getting my foot in the door.
Who were those names?
Al Shelton would have been a big one. He used to help Las Vegas in Belleville a lot.
Shout out Al.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely one guy, like right off the bat, like he had no idea who I was. And I walked up and I was like, do you guys need a hand? And he turned to me and he looked at me. He's like, yeah, actually I do. And he's like, front leg right now. And I was like,
big deal.
Whoa. Like, I was like, he's like, you can't touch it with a pair of clippers though. And I was like, I don't even own clippers, Al, so it's okay. So that, and then, that obviously that turned into a lot for me. Like I would help him a lot at Voss and kind of learn a lot from him for sure. And then
there is such a good lesson in there about, and it applies to everything in life. Like sometimes if you just ask.
Oh, 100%.
And way more often than not, you'd be surprised at how often the answer is yes.
For sure. And it like I knew who they were, but I didn't really know like what, and it was just, I walked by and I was like, hey, do you guys need a hand by chance? And he's like, absolutely. And it was craziness, but at the Royal, that's where it was. And that heifer went on to win Supreme that year. And I was like as a kid, they have no idea who I was. I had like no idea what I was doing. And now all of a sudden they're like, and of course I'm like eager to get in the backdrop picture, and they're like, absolutely not. And
what?
Yeah, no, it was like, no, like it was what it was. Fair. And I was like,
I
like,
guess.
I was standing there and I was like trying to get in, and they're like, no. And I was like, it is what it is. My dreams are crushed. But yeah, awesome family. And like there was a time where I was working my day job and then driving to Belleville is where they were. And I was like washing and rinsing till like 10 o'clock at night and then driving home. And it was, awesome family. And, I bought a couple heifers from them that worked out great. Yeah.
Okay. So that takes us to there. So now you get your foot in the door.
Yeah. So then.
You're still in Ontario at this point.
Yeah, still in Ontario. So then, this would have been like 2017, 2018. I had to have knee surgery, so I delayed going to school for a year, so I had a pretty good chunk of cash that I was just sitting on.
All right.
So, of course, I go and buy an Angus heifer, which was worth more Shakira. And, I was at this point, I'm still very new to showing cattle in general, like still, learning and getting my foot in the door and all of this. So,
where'd Shakira come from?
Worthmore Calico, the Petherick family.
Okay.
So, really competitive, like at our local shows, like, 30, 40 head, she would win. That's what I kind of wanted, like just to, kind of get that experience. Exactly. Well, and then the crazy part that went with that female was that I was at school, so I bred her for an April calf because, of course, I wanted to be home like for her first calf because I was still very, that was a big deal for me, right?
Yep.
So bred her for an April calf, her first calf, calf to heifer, just average run of the mill, whatever. And then I held her over a year because I wanted a January calf because I was like, it's got to be a January. It's got to be a January, right? So everything was lining up perfect, and then COVID hit.
No shows.
No shows, except there was 3 that year. 4, I guess. And that's where every banner in this room came from. So her and her bull calf, we won the Junior Angus show in Lindsay. And then the year that Billy and Juanita put on the show, the cattle battle in their front yard, then she won that. And she won both rings in that with Huey Ross and, who was the other? Another guy from out here. Anyways, that judged, and it was like totally life-changing for me. Like I was like, after that, I was like, and I knew enough, but I didn't really know a lot. Like I think I brag about it now, but I fed her a whole bag of beet pulp before she went in, and like she was just like blowing up, and it was like, she's got to be big. She's got to be big. So I would say, like, for me, that was definitely like a turning point, I guess, in all of it. Like I would say that was my point where I like got the itch to kind of like, I like hanging banners and so then we campaigned her bull the next year, and we were talking about this because the banner on the wall that year, Lee and Don used him to win Carp Fair that year. So he, same kind of deal, like I got the itch and I was like gung-ho. I was like, this is, like my goal was that year to be in Supreme at the Royal, and I got there and it was great and it was awesome. And then, so that, I guess the year before that at Agribition, I would have met Sam. And,
so you're shocked up with Sam before you came out here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I had that wrong because I thought you met.
Out here. No. Yeah. So I had met her at Agribition. I don't even know what year that would be. 2023, 2022, 2021.
Probably. Well, that would have been the
2021.
Back,
yeah,
right?
2021. Yeah. So met Sam there. Never, like, we chatted a bit at the barns. Never really, and then pulled the old slid into the DM trick about middle of December, and I guess the rest is history. I flew out.
And again, sometimes you just gotta ask.
Exactly, you just gotta ask. You never know what's gonna happen. So I don't know. It was a huge, I think, when you're that age, I think it's a little bit of a secret. Like I was flying out here to see a friend. So I got on a plane. I'd never really flew that much before.
Drug you out here.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was the cat.
No. So then met Sam. Came out here for a weekend, and like I'd never been out here before other than Regina, which like you don't see this, you only see the city in the dark.
Yeah.
So like totally fell in love with it. And then for a year, I guess, we flew back and forth every other weekend.
Jeepers.
So
Is she from right here we're at Clyde, Alberta, for everybody watching at home? She's from here?
Like Spruce Grove, Morinville, kind of right around Edmonton.
How did you land?
So her mom, they had an acreage just outside of Morinville, like 13 acres, really nice spot. Her mom wanted to move to the city, kind of just a little less work, a little less maintenance for the property. So her mom had moved to the city, and then we had found through a mutual friend a barn loft just like 6 miles north or south of here. Awesome family. Moved in. It was like right out of Heartland, basically. Like the barn loft, it had like an open fire pit in the middle of it, like totally the coolest place ever. So we lived there for a couple of years, and then that's, I guess, where we learned how to rope. So the back door of the loft, you walk to the left and it's the outdoor arena, and you walk to the left or the right and it's the indoor arena. So like you have to rope if you live there. So I bought a horse.
All right, we're going rodeoing.
Yeah, going rodeoing, learn how to rope. Totally like cool, loved it. got the bug for that too. And at this point, I didn't have any cows. I had sold all my cows in Ontario before I moved out. So I was like rodeoing, like this is kind of,
Yeah.
cattle are great. I was still doing like a pile of clipping of like a lot of fitting.
Clipping syllables and
Yeah. And like, the whole fall run, and we would go to Denver with Tyler and Justine, and it was great. Like I didn't have to have cows at home. Cause I enjoy the fitting thing a lot.
So this is where I met you because
Yeah.
you're hanging with the PCC crowd.
Yeah.
And it was at Stettler. And they're like, "Oh, Mitch is here." And I like saw you, and I'm like, I'd probably met him.
Yeah.
And I just,
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Get in here, bro." And then like, yeah, it was like years later.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, Mitch isn't from here?"
Yeah.
No, it's like picked up and flew out by himself from
Yeah.
Ontario.
Yeah.
Hold that thought. Ladies and gentlemen, the Next Gen Cattle Podcast is brought to you by our fantastic sponsor, Mock Stock. Do you think you're the baddest motherfucker in North America with a pair of Andy's clippers and some glue? Why don't you prove it? Anywhere, anytime, from the comfort of your kitchen, from the warmth of your basement. Mock Stock, new innovative product on order from McCrady Cattle Company.
Mapleview Livestock.
Mapleview Livestock. And it's what it is. Do we have one handy to show the people?
I can go get one.
Let's do that, and I'll tell them about it. Mitch is the inventor of the Mock Stock front leg. If you want to practice at home or try some things out before you get to the show, he got the thing for you. He sent me a picture just before he announced it. He said, "Man, I'm working on something." I said, "What are you working on, Mitch?" He said, "Just shot me a picture." I said, "Oh my God, can you imagine getting the boys together or the girls at the kitchen? You have, a couple, and then you whoop out the Mock Stock front leg, and it simulates real show hair on a hind leg, do a front leg, whatever. This is the hind. You can glue it, you can clip it, you can wash it, you can do it again. All for the low, low price of
$60.
$60. You know how freaking fun that would be? And I tell you what, if you order today and you do a cool video and show us something that hasn't been done before, Alberta Realty will send you 3 more Mock Stocks.
Sounds like a great deal to me.
It's a hell of a deal. All right, so we're back in Alberta now, and you've met Sam. It's going good.
Yep.
You're at the barn loft. You're going to go be a rodeo cowboy.
Yeah. I went like full steam ahead. Bought a horse, renovated our trailer with a living quarters in the front of it so that we could rodeo and live out of our trailer.
Damn.
Was
Sam a rodeo girl?
Yeah. So Sam had always rode. Like growing up, she had always rode. And then like once we moved to the barn loft, we would rope like every night in the summer and every 2 nights in the winter.
All right.
So obviously your skills just get better and better and better.
You like heading or heeling?
Heading.
Yeah,
for sure. So did that for, we were there for 2 years. And then this place that we're at now came up for rent. And we kind of wanted, our own space to kind of cows, horses,
some acres,
whatever. Yeah. To just kind of expand our horizons a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so we were still at that point, we were rodeoing like every weekend we were gone.
Damn.
I wasn't making any money, but I was still going.
Making memories.
Yeah. Making memories. Yeah. So, we went, it was every weekend kind of down the local kind of trail, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Sam had the opportunity to go down south to Mark and Jade's for a winter, and then got hooked up with Drill Buck. And, that was last, I guess, well, she just left today, but about this time last year, she bought an Angus heifer, and now we,
got the bug.
We went from,
we got her.
Yeah. We went from roping every weekend to going to shows again. And it's still something we really love. I think it's hard to do both.
Yeah.
Like it's, the time and effort that you put into, washing, rinsing, and halter breaking is hard. Like we still have an arena here and we ride as much as we can. And I think hopefully this year we'll try to do some more, but it's,
you're right though. It's just, there are only so many hours in the day.
Yeah, for sure.
And to be exceptional, and like I can say this because I am not, in cattle. I've got parents who are obsessed.
Yeah,
That's what it takes, though.
for sure, 100%. And Sam and I had that conversation when we first met. I said it's really hard to do both.
Yep.
And I said, like, even the cost and the the time you put into it, and making sure you can do both to a really high degree. Like, and that's one thing we both really like, is making sure that we do everything the best we can.
Just good at whatever you do.
Yeah. So hopefully this year we'll have some more time to kind of try to get back into the roping a bit. But it's a lot. Like, you think show cows are expensive?
Oh,
Try owning horses and ropes, and you throw your rope 10 times and now you got to buy a new one, and they're $80 a piece. And some days you like this rope, some days you like that rope. Like, it's it's a whole thing in its own. So
no, it's true. And I know people in both industries at the top level, and it just is, you must be dogged in your determination. So it can be done.
Yeah, 100% for sure. So so we moved in here. Sam bought that heifer from down south and got her up here, and then just kind of from then we've just been.
I just saw her. She's a 10.
Yeah,
What are you doing with her?
Well, yeah, it's the fall-born deal is hard because she's a fall-born. So up here, down south, it's easy because it's just another division.
Yep.
So we held her over, so she, like, we'll breed her this spring as like an extra age yearling, I guess.
Yep.
And then see what happens.
That's really interesting, and I'd never considered that aspect of the fall born, but holding her over, and then having a nice January out of her or whatever,
extra growth, extra age.
Now she's got a little more.
Yeah.
She's not, like,
and she shows us a mature cow now too, right? Because she's a 3-year-old, but it's her first.
But
calf.
she's still fresh.
Yeah.
That's going to be very interesting.
Yeah. It does suck because when you buy one, like here, you get 2 show seasons out of them. But when you buy one there, when you buy a fall born from there and bring them here, you only get 1, and you're in that weird, like, and it is better. Like, there is, like there was 3 this year that were kind of like that July to
it's getting
October. So it is something that is coming. It just like it's a grind.
Yep.
It's a grind for sure.
I've made some notes here because I have that consummate professional old letter that I'm not using anymore. When was the last time you cried?
This morning, actually. This morning.
What?
Well, I dropped Sam off at the airport to leave for a month and a half, so there was a couple tears this morning.
Forgivable.
Yeah, fair enough.
Favorite breed?
Oh man, this is a hard one. I think it kind of changes. I think obviously I'm a little like with the Angus deal.
Oh, you're kind of in it now.
Like, I'm in it.
Yeah.
I think though, like, every time I go somewhere and see like a different one, it kind of changes a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think the mains are pretty. I like mains.
Yeah, there's a rejuvenation coming there.
Yeah,
a
there's
renaissance, as it were.
And like, even like with Sam being more involved now, like down south and going down there more, like she'll send me videos and I'm like, man, if you painted that thing black, like, you're off to the races,
dude. And it kind of been talked. This has been a discussion at our house for the last 10 years. The top end of every breed, is getting so good and so competitive.
100%.
You could take the top 10 at Farm Fair, and just pick a color.
And they're all gonna,
and you'd be like, it absolutely
for sure.
And in some senses that's really good because I think we've found like the epitome
for sure, 100%.
But also, there is something about having some breed characteristic.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You can pull some of the best of each for specifically the commercial guy.
Yeah, definitely.
And, you don't want carbon copies of.
For sure. For sure.
This is very interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been your host of the Next Gen Cattle Podcast, Ty Wilson, with very special guest, Mitch McCrady. Oh, one more thing. I do have one more thing.
Yeah.
Are you selling ads on this yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell everybody what the pricing is? Because I'm very curious.
Yeah, for sure. So you guys should check it out. We posted our first bull sale feature with Harvey Crest. Yeah. So we're offering those.
But that was a full segment. That was a full episode.
Yeah, full episode. Yeah. And we run through everything, like end to end, or if you guys, want to highlight certain bulls or only talk about a couple.
It was cool because he had the kids.
The kids, yeah, totally. Yeah. To check. Yeah.
This bull.
Yeah, for sure.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're offering that, and we got lots of room for that if anyone wants to.
What will that run somebody?
$200.
$200 is a hell of a deal, guys. You're not
Yeah.
going to get an ad in any magazine for $200.
Yeah.
And you're going to get a 30-minute podcast.
Yeah.
If you want that long.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
And then any ad we put on is $50. And
Wow.
we average about 7,000 listeners a month. So in
Wow.
terms of you're reaching a lot of people, and every month we've been going up about 1,000 people a month in terms of listeners. So
all right, I want you to start putting me in for.
Sounds great.
Okay. With that being said, Alberta Realty for the strong and free. Guys, this is cattle country. If you want to come here and follow your cattle or rodeo dreams like Mitch did, reach out to Alberta Realty. Ty Wilson.
That's right.
Thanks, man.
Dude,
this
awesome to have you.
Best of luck with
Thanks
everything.
for being a great host.
This is tremendous. I really am a big fan. And I'm going to be listening. I think a lot of people are going to be listening.
It's awesome. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in to this week's episode with our host Ty Wilson. It was a blast, and I'm glad that I got to share kind of a little background on me with all you guys, so you guys can kind of know my story and I guess really the whole reason behind the podcast. So thanks y'all for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.